What's up, everyone? NanMan here, and we've got another kind of modern related video coming out. So this one, we've got a new set coming out, which is our Time Spiral Remastered, which I'm sure everybody's kind of seen because we've got all these old cards that, or these cards that have old borders on them. So this video, I'm not going to be talking about any of the old bordered cards. We're just going to be talking about kind of the top 5 cards that have been reprinted for modern staple decks kind of thing. Or at least modern decks that, hey, this card's really awesome and it's awesome that we're getting a reprint for it. So we'll kind of highlight those sort of 5 cards, and then we'll have another video dedicated just to the old border stuff, but at least wanted to get it going and kind of talk about some of the cool cards that kind of are in this set. So we have kind of a runner up, if you will, to our top 5, and that would be kind of our Urborg here. So Urborg, for those that are not familiar, each land is a swamp in addition to its other land types. It is a legendary land, so there is that factor. It does see play in sort of the smallpox type decks, but it is like $25, give or take. You know, that might fluctuate depending on whether you're getting foil, depending on what version it is, but at least the reprint right now is selling for about $25. Big part of that is because of other formats like Commander and stuff jacking up the price, so it is an honorable mention, even though it's not really staple amongst most decks in the modern scene as of right now. But I did want to highlight that, at least that, for everybody to kind of keep track of. All right, so I have these kind of ranked up for the next couple ones. You might not agree with my ranking, and that's fine. Just let me know what you think should be kind of the top 5 of your list of these sort of reprints. Next one coming up would be Dryad Arbor. So number 5 here on my list. I listed Dryad Arbor because you know, it's about that kind of $9 to $11 price point for this, and it really mainly sees play in things like Boggles, things like Infect, where you can be able to kind of fetch this guy out and be able to win off of it, right? You can put a bunch of auras on it, make them really big. If you're not able to get some of your Boggles or any of your hexproof creatures, it's just kind of another way to kind of keep going in the game. Infect runs it as well as a way, oh, all my Infect creatures have died. You've taken a bunch of damage from you shocking yourself, you know, doing all these extra ways to like use your resources of your life in a different way because you take poison damage. Well, I'm just going to fetch this up and kill you that way. It also has double duty in both these decks because you get to have a protection against sacrifice effects like Liliana the Veil, where they might say, okay, sacrifice a creature, you only have one creature because that's usually what these decks end up having, and then you are able to kind of adjust accordingly, and you say, oh, I'm going to fetch, get this Dryad Arbor. It counts as both a creature and a land, and you're able to make it happen there. So Dryad Arbor is kind of coming in at number 5. So switching it over, coming in at number 4, we're going into our Pact. That's right, Summoner's Pact. So this again, right around that kind of $10, give or take, fluctuating $1 or $2, depending on the printing and stuff like that, whether it's foil or not, would increase the price, all that kind of good stuff. But Summoner's Pact, awesome card. The packs in general are awesome, but because Amulet Titan exists and still is a powerful deck in the modern scenes, you know, still running around, and is the most common deck that you will see running Summoner's Pact, and if you've thought about, hey, I have been missing out on it, now's your chance to be able to pick it up. So what it does is it costs 0. A 0 cost spell? How is that fair? Well, because there is a little upkeep cost that comes with it. So what it does is search your library for a green creature, reveal it, put it into your hand. So in this instance, people are being able to find their Primeval Titans. But at the beginning of your next upkeep, you need to pay 4 mana, 2 colorless, and double green. If you don't, you lose the game. That's part of the pact, right? You have to do this or you lose. And occasionally back in real life events, people would forget to pay for their pact triggers, and they would lose. When you're playing mainly online, because there's the whole pandemic still going on and in-person events aren't really happening, you don't really have to worry about it because there's these big flashy notifications. Hey, pay for your pact. So just want to bring that in at number 4 there on this list. Coming in though at number 3, we've got our Pact of Negation. So both packs are in here. As note, again, a lot of these cards are specific for playability in Modern. Also, this one sees play in other formats as well, and it's like $30 for this one. So we're, again, jumping up a little bit in our price of cards for kind of our a list that we've got here. Pact of Negation, just like our previous pact, it does cost 0 to be able to cast it, and it just counters target spell. But at the beginning of your next upkeep, you have to pay 5 mana, 3 colorless and double blue. If you don't, you lose the game. Now, Pact of Negation sees most of its play in Amulet Titan. It also saw play in things like Ad Nauseam. It's this kind of combo safety net that you have. If you're running an OTK style deck or one turn kill that you're going to kill this person, then it doesn't matter about the upkeep cost because they're going to be dead and it won't go back to your upkeep. So it doesn't matter. If you're just trying to combo off, kill this person, this is that safety net for your deck to protect you from your opponent disrupting it. You've tapped out to be able to combo off this turn. This is the time that it needs to happen, and oh, they had that one Dispel or that Spell Pierce or something to mess with you, or they tried to kill your creature with a removal spell. Well, I'm just going to play Pact of Negation and protect myself from losing, and now my combo goes off, and you have lost in one turn. Sorry, not sorry. So again, Pact of Negation, really powerful. Ad Nauseam is going to be a little bit weird with the most recent banning of Simian Spirit Guide. I don't know how well it's going to work. It's going to be slower, it's going to be a little bit weirder, and so there might be some variations that come out of things. So if you're ever considerate about putting together an Ad Nauseam style deck, Pact of Negation is important. If you're going to be playing any sort of combo all-in OTK style decks, Pact of Negation is important. All right, coming in at number 2 then, shifting gears on over, we've got our Tarmogoyf. Mr. Goyf over here. So pretty much at this point in time, if you haven't picked up any Tarmogoyfs and you have been thinking about putting together some Abzan, some Jund style lists, these mid-rangey decks, then now would be the time. Costs $34 for it at this point in time. Again, that's going to fluctuate depending on what version of it. Some of them kind of up there are still around 40. The printing matters. The art matters for some people. Old art on like OG art for this Tarmogoyf, new border style for it, but is important if you've been like, well, I don't want to spend $100 on 4 cards, you know, or back in the day where it was like $250 for 4 cards. Makes sense. I get it. But the more printings of it, the better for people that want to play these styles of decks. So I did bring it in here because Jund and those sort of decks are going to start climbing back up in our modern meta now that some of the more degenerate style, hey, you need to be playing Uro or you shouldn't be playing modern, you know, so now things are shifting. So we'll see what happens. It's a good time for Jund to kind of climb up here and take its spot again near one of the tops. So keep an eye on that card. If you don't have him yet, this is now kind of a great time to be jumping in there and to kind of get that sort of play style going. All right, that leaves us with our final reprint card of the regular set of Time Spiral Remastered. Coming in at number 1, Damnation. So Damnation is like, you know, this is one of those cards, again, that's like we've seen a couple reprints, but it feels like it always needs reprints, right? It's about $38, $39. Some of the printings, again, are in the 40s or 50s. If you get really crazy with some foils, it's up to almost $80, $100. It just depends on what version. But Damnation is really, really good for those sort of, I'm going to be playing a non-white control deck, where most people are going to be running Supreme Verdicts, Wrath of God, stuff like that. Well, now we have this time-shifted version with Damnation. So if you're going to be running Sultai, right, or Dimir, right, that's green, blue, and black, or just black, blue, this Damnation can be very powerful. Also, some sort of mid-rangey strategies could benefit from it as well, just being able to be like, all right, board wipe your aggro strategy, and now I'm going to be able to kind of profit off of that later on. So if you don't own at least one copy of Damnation, now might be the time to consider picking up one. It's $38, give or take, with this kind of pre-order stuff. Those, again, numbers might shift and change once the set actually comes out. But it is definitely my number 1 pick because, again, just like with some previous cards we were talking about, like Urborg, there are other formats that really like this card, and the price of it will go up again. So Commander is one of them. So keep an eye out for this. Again, I highly recommend you picking it up with this set along with some of the other cards if those sort of decks are what kind of fit your play style. So I hope you guys like this top 5. Let me know what your top 5 is. Let me know if you agree with the order that I put things in, because I sort of just did a willy-nilly pick and choose which sort of ones that I really like for this. We are going to highlight the different bordered and old art style coming up in another video of kind of our top 5 going forward here. So if you like these sort of top 5 when sets are coming out, let me know. This might be part of a normal thing that we do on the channel. Again, we're going to start doing some more deck techs as the meta is now shifting after the last banning. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that good content. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you are liking it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next game. Hey everyone, NanMan here. I'm a StarCraft 2 and Magic the Gathering content maker and commentator. Thanks for tuning in and watching, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and check the description for more information about other content that I'm doing. I've also got a new podcast, NanMan's Nerd Corner, which you guys can find out on Spotify or iTunes. It's got a bunch of Magic content as well as other stuff. Thanks for tuning in and watching, and I'll see you guys next game.